And one child was telling me, one learner with albinism was telling me, you see, why should I go to school? When I get to school, almost everybody is spitting on me, because the belief is that when you meet a person with albinism, you must spit saliva on him or spit on your shirt, or else you inherit the same condition, or you are going to give birth to a similar child. So here is a child who goes to school. The only thing you receive, people spitting on you or spitting on themselves, and so they become very uncomfortable. And that also contributes quite a lot for them to drop out of school. I went to 4 provinces and 12 schools, and in total, of course, I interviewed and talked to about 118 respondents. What seems to come out very clear is that learners with albinism do not have a smooth flow in terms of their education, their progression, and later on their completion rates. Many reasons, of course, are attached to that. The major one is that there are a lot of myths that surround learners with albinism. For instance, in some of the places in Zambia, they believe that the person with albinism can be of good help in terms of providing riches. When a person with albinism takes a bath, they will get hold of the water, and fishermen will come and buy that water, which they use to catch a lot of fish. And what seems to be very interesting out of that was that when I asked the parents who would get this water for their children, and whether the fishermen would come back and report that they caught a lot of fish, and the parents were saying, yeah, they will get a lot of more fishermen coming. And so you can imagine, if a parent is earning a living out of the water from this child, they would find it very difficult to release the child for school. So there is an economic gain. So while it is true that a lot of these children are killed for ritual purposes and all those things, even when they are not killed, some of the things that they get from the children are so beneficial to most of the parents. And so they don't want these children to go to school. It is clear most of these learners with albinism find themselves in special education schools, and these are schools for the blind. And what is clear is that there is a challenge in terms of distance. Secondly, the issue of poverty on the part of the parents. Thirdly, the issues of superstition, the issues of myths. Many parents do not still feel that a child with albinism could be intelligent enough that he would be able to acquire education if taken to school. And so they think that it's a waste of resources. But apart from that, you know, there is a conviction and a belief that most of the learners, children with albinism, they just disappear. So you imagine you invest a lot of money in this child, and before he reaches grade 12, probably he disappears. So most of the parents feel, and just the community, they feel that it will be a waste of resources to spend a lot of money on a child with albinism. And just to give you a simple example, statistics that came from the Ministry of Education, 2015, on generally all the learners with generally learners with disabilities, the statistics showed that 189,600 children were in primary school, but out of that, only 9,000 were found at secondary school. So you put together all those things, you find that even our learners with albinism, they will start well in grade 1. But by the time they get to secondary school, the numbers will have reduced. And by the time they get to grade 12, the numbers will have reduced even further because of the other factors that come into play. I think that one is a huge gap because to begin with, the families where these children are found, they themselves are afraid of releasing these children because this community surrounding them will always be hunting after these children with albinism. It's either they're hunting them for their hair, they're hunting them for maybe body parts. Of course, Zambia has not recorded a lot of deaths in this area, except the 5 which were reported last year in the eastern part of Zambia, which is closer to Malawi. But just those issues that they need their hair, they need their water, they need anything that they can get hold of from an individual with albinism, that makes them quite uncomfortable. The statistics that I got in schools, the majority of children with albinism were girls. It's difficult to understand that one because I know that albinism is inherited. I don't know whether women inherit it more than boys. We need to confirm that one. But I'm thinking that the predisposition usually in most of these African countries, including Zambia, parents would be more willing to send their boy child to school than the girl child. So to have a higher number of girls than boys, it may be showing that maybe a higher number of our children with albinism in the country are that of girls. Was out of the 145, which I got from the administrators in different schools, 80 of them were female learners with albinism. The Ministry of Education can come up with policy, specific policy to help learners with albinism. That would be good. The other thing should be also teachers. I think that teacher training should be tailored to provide an understanding to the student on what albinism is and how they can help a learner with albinism. I don't think in our country or elsewhere there is a curriculum that provides for learners with albinism. Parents need a lot of education. And I could hear, when you interviewing most of these parents, I could hear from their voices that they were a lot more skeptical. Some of the things that they've heard within the society, some of them have ended up believing it. Because some parents would tell me, no, we were told, no, sell your child to me. I'm living a poor life, and sometimes it looks as if it's a good idea because maybe it will shift my welfare and all those things. So you can tell that some of them could easily have a temptation to think that selling a child with albinism would be a good idea.